everybody. So in this video, this is the culmination of all the planning, all the repairs, everything that I had to do to get the boat ready, and undertook this. For me, it was 1,175 miles is what it ended up being. The journey from Hamilton to Shelburne, Nova Scotia, where I went down the Erie Canal, down the Hudson River, and then up the coast, and then crossed the Gulf of Maine to Nova Scotia. And I had all kinds of weather. I had, good weather, calm seas. I had rough seas, fog, you name it. And yeah, a lot of good stories here on this one. Hope you enjoy the video. Well, good morning, guys. It's 27th, 4 a.m. Pretty dark out still, and I'm just getting prepared to leave. Getting cushions away, just the last couple of things, get the doors put aside. And I gotta make my way through here. There's boats kind of all over the place here. Just gonna wait for a little bit more light because there's one of those things called mooring balls and I can't see them. So gonna just get the sails ready, get my tea made, and then yeah, time to go. Main is up, single reef in it. Okay, time to go drop the mooring. Off mooring. Alright, we're out at the mooring fields. We missed most of the moorings. Got pretty close to that one there, didn't see it. But I don't see anything now. I think I'm gonna make my way over to the green buoy. That's a long point at Provincetown, and they call it that because it kind of loops all around like a crescent and creates a certain moderate amount of shelter out here. More crab pots. You put them right in line there, the green. So, and I got another boat coming up behind me. These guys must know where they're going. Fishing boat. Leaving Provincetown Harbour at looks like 4:50 a.m. and I've got 4 knots of wind, 5 knots of wind. I'm doing 4.7 knots speed over ground, and I'm heading over to that second green buoy to round the point. Oh, there's my first crab pot. That's why I left where I could see. Hard to tell, but you can see there. There it is. Got it? Those are the crab pots. So leaving at night's, I think, a little precarious here. A dream was born years ago. A beat-up sailboat, no engine, no instruments, just a vision of open waters. Countless hours were poured into learning batteries, wiring, and solar, turning that old gas boat into an electric Voyager. This channel humbly shares the lessons hard learned through that DIY journey. For 6 years, the dream grew, step by step, until finally, 1,100 nautical miles were sailed from Hamilton to Nova Scotia, breaking free from the dock. Join this adventure, exploring new seas, tinkering along the way, chasing freedom with no fixed horizon. Subscribe and sail along. Well, I've got a plan. I'm going to stick with it. Basically going to try to make my way to Shelburne, Nova Scotia. So it'll take me a couple of days before I see land again. And I'm going to be going basically about 50 hours. So today is, it's 5 in the morning now on Sunday, the 27th. And I'm going to be Monday, 5 a.m. and then Tuesday, 5 a.m. and I'll see land Tuesday. So I'll be looking forward to that. On my way, a little nervous. It's a long way to go. It looks like the water is slowly calming down though, so kind of calming down and almost I'll have to motor tomorrow, I think, during the day for a bulk of it. So we'll see how that goes, but I've got 4 cans of fuel in the generator, so I'm hoping that that all works out okay. Here's the first buoy of many. The morning's light air, I decided to shake out the reef now that I can see, and I went with full sails. I'm about 5 miles from the shipping corridor going to Boston, and I decided to make some breakfast. What it's made me realize is I need a clip and a clip to put a little belt to hold me in. I find like I'm leaning into it. But otherwise my little lip here, I think it's called a fiddle. It's pretty much holding everything this way. I've gotten rid of everything off of the counter as much as I can. And basically just doing onions, sausage, and eggs, and green peppers. And 2 eggs, that's going to be my breakfast. And then tonight I'm going to have some stew. And I might have a steak. I'm about 20 miles from, not quite, maybe 15 miles from Provincetown. So I'm in international waters now, I guess. I'm outside of the boundary, the 12-mile boundary. There it is. Breakfast of champions. That thing's just going, isn't it? Rollers are coming in about on a 6-second period. They're not that big, but right here anyway. But I'm still a little bit sheltered by the land, Cape Cod. Thanks to all the sponsors of the channel and our Patreons. Couldn't be making these videos without you. Well, I'm just crossing the shipping channel, going in and out of Boston. It rounds the point. I can still see land a little bit. It's getting really faint back there. But, I can't see any of the light out. I can't make out anything now, but that's just a little bit of land sticking out there. I've gone about 25 miles already, so I'm making good progress. I'm holding about 5 knots, which is a knot more than I anticipated, but I've got the motor on and I'm just sort of hovering with the generator because I'm not getting any charging, so kind of running it down to 80, in the 80s, like 88%, and then I put the generator on, bring it back up to 95. I'm not getting any solar at all. Well, I'm getting like 100 watts because there's a rainstorm on its way. Tomorrow should be sunny, so I should get some more charging tomorrow, which would be better. And the winds right now are about, well, I'm showing 10-12 knots, but it's about 8 knots, 9 knots true. And it's right on my side, my beam, which is nice. So it's giving me a decent speed anyway. So I'm just gonna run this until, like I said, I get through the shipping channel. Going this way, basically I'm cutting across it 90 degrees, so I don't see anything. This would be the outbound traffic from Boston. And then this is the inbound traffic from Boston, and I can't see anything. And I need an hour to cross it, so it's a pretty big shipping channel. But it's Sunday today, so maybe that's why. Day of rest today, I don't know. But aside from that, just kind of left all the fishing boats and everything behind. And I've got 212 miles to go before I see land again, so another couple days for sure. But making progress. No, it's just garbage. I was like, is that a shipping pot way out here? 459 feet deep. But I think it's a bag. Yeah, it's a bag. Well, I put a reef in the main and got my speed down. I was hitting 6.6, so now I'm doing 5.7, 5.8 again. And I also rolled in the jib quite a bit. So I got a single reef main and the jib's at about inside 90% jib now. I was 110 before. No, more than that. I got like a 60% jib. Wind's definitely picking up, but I felt like I was getting out of control there, but it just calmed down. So I don't know if that was just a gust or what, but I'm gonna leave it like this for a bit. Now it's showing me 10-12 knots, 10, 9, but I'm seeing 17 apparent, so that's quite a bit. I'd rather go a little slower. I'm still ahead of schedule. To update at 20 to 2, 20 minutes to my next chart check. I had to change into out of my pants, and then I put my windbreaker on in my rubber boots. I had a breaker come over and I was standing at the back. Basically, cockpit got drenched. Boat was at about a 45-degree lean. and went back, and the wave came over. I put a double reef in the main, and I've just got a sliver out. I'm doing 4.5 knots speed over ground. Wind's about 16 knots. So I'm moving pretty good still. But the waves are just, yeah, they weren't supposed to be this big, but this is what they are. So it looks like I've got this for a while. My autopilot sounds like it's screeching a bit there. Oh, here we go. Ugh. Another big one. It's a ride. Breakers. It's 8 o'clock. Just did my 8 p.m. Chart tracking. I'm going to go over this in the morning when it's a little bit more light, but I'm still just a little bit ahead of predict wind, which is good, I guess. But I programmed it to kind of cap me at 5 knots. It looks like the wind's going to die down over the night, or just a little bit, but then tomorrow at noon it's going to be pretty dead. So the sea state will be improved, but I won't be moving. So I guess it's kind of like double-edged sword. You need some wind to move the boat, but then the wind creates kind of an unstable sea state. Had some breakers. I'm crashing into some waves here now. And I guess what's happening is that the path that the wave is taking has changed from kind of like more this way behind me to maybe more now coming across me. So if I went like another 10 degrees, maybe 20 degrees to starboard, I'd be almost parallel with the waves. Which would make them even more rolly, but that's what's been happening, is they've been slowly changing this way. So anyways, I'm doing 4.5 knots. I've got 10 knots of wind. It's kind of calmed down a fair amount, but just the waves are really bad. I've eaten some ginger for some nausea. Made some eggs. I had pico de gallo, chips, apple, orange. I've had some blueberries. So I had a number of things, but I didn't eat my soup. I think I'm going to just save that till tomorrow, because I'm not sick or anything, but I'm just tired, and I kind of want the rocking to be over. It's like really rocking. It's probably about the worst weather that I've been in, like in terms of sea state. But it's different because in the lake you get like chop. So here it's not chop, but you get the ocean rollers, and then the ocean rollers really pitch the boat. Like I've been over 45 degrees a couple of times. It's almost like a knockdown, sort of feels like, but it's not quite there. But it's just because of the angle that I'm kind of cutting across here to maintain my course. In the lake you get chop, so it feels like hobby horsing, and you're always banging, so you're not getting that. I've actually felt more sick in the lake than over here. but it's just uncomfortable because there's so much movement. I was trying to lie down and close my eyes, and I'm just not able to get any sleep. I'm going to try again here now for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to do another chart marking at 10. So I'm going to keep up the 2-hour watch. I've only seen 2 fishing boats in the last 50 miles. So it's pretty bare out here, I guess. And I'm going to plug in the camera because I think it's going to run out of juice soon. Anyways, I'm glad to be making progress. Tomorrow sounds like it's going to be a motoring day. So I'm going to have to motor probably about 20 hours. We'll see how far I get with that. All right, it'll be dark soon. From too much wind to no wind. I'm motoring now at 3.5, almost 4 knots, 3.7. And I've got no help from any wind. So this was the ocean, or is the ocean, but this was the ocean yesterday with breakers. It was filling the cockpit up with water. This is like the next day. It's like glass. I've got the motor on, and I'm doing, I was doing about 3.2 knots. That's about what my motor does underneath the usual cruise, like for long distance cruising. So I have the generator on. It's using 1300 watts. But I put the sails up here, as you can see behind me, and I'm picking up just a little bit, and I'm up to 4 knots of boat speed, speed over ground actually. So I'm picking up something, and I've gained myself 25% more speed just by having my sails up. So I've got a full jib. This is my heavy jib, and at night I'll roll it up where I can't see the start of the first couple numbers. That's about the size of it. And then the main behind me, right now it's a full main, but I will probably at night put that down to either 1 reef or 2 reefs, depending upon what the prediction is at night. But I think tonight is going to be 6 knots. It should be pretty quiet. I'm going to basically motor all night, motor all day, motor all night. The wind's going to pick up around 7 in the morning tomorrow as I'm coming into Nova Scotia. So I think I have enough fuel with 2 cans, jerry cans, to do that, and I have 4 cans. So that'll use up half my fuel to basically get me to Nova Scotia at a whopping 4 knots. So I'm going to do about 80 miles over the next 20 hours at 3.5, 4 knots speed over ground. But as I get closer to Nova Scotia, there's actually tidal currents too. There's some tidal currents out here, and I don't understand them. I couldn't find a map, and Navionics doesn't really have them on there. So most of my tidal currents is related to coastal currents. There's like a ring, but it goes a couple of different directions here in the Gulf of Maine. So I couldn't sort it out in my head when and where and how. So it just seems like it's not always the same. It moves. So my speed over ground may go up or down depending upon what that is as well. So, but I'm just amazed at how calm it is. No wind. And lots of fog. I got the radar on and AIS. and I'm not picking up anything. I'm 80 miles from shore, and I don't think I'm not coming in on any real, at least that I'm aware of, fishing zones. There's like a couple of basins which are like, I guess, cutouts in the ground underneath here. So that's kind of where I'm coming in, and then I'm going to be at the 100-foot level. So I hope I don't hit any lobster pots, but I will be arriving at 7 in the morning, so I should be able to see if there's any lobster pots or anything like that. So it's a good time. It's another reason why I'm motoring. And then the wind picks up at 7. I should have about 8 to 12 knots of wind, and it'll be pushing me all the way to Shelburne. So I shouldn't need any more fuel, but if I'm in a hurry, I may do that, or if I need to charge my batteries or whatever. So I think that I'm going to be good. As long as everything keeps working the way it's working, I'll be all right. It's like I haven't seen anything. Like nobody, like I haven't seen nobody, like nothing. I picked up one boat on radar, and I was like, is my AIS even working? I experienced an interesting thing. I experienced current already way out here. So it's low tide right now, and the tide is starting to rise. So it's actually flooding. So I was actually seeing, because when I motor, I can only motor at 3.5 knots. And then all of a sudden I was doing 5 knots. And I was like, what's going on? There was no wind out there. And it was actually the current gave me 1.5 knots. And then it slowed down again to 4.3. And then I got a bit of wind. So now I'm at like 4.5, 4.7. So it's interesting. I'm like way out. I'm 70 miles out, but there's still like current flowing out from the tide out of the Gulf of Maine into the ocean, and then coming back. And I was wondering, I was kind of tracking like this, and I was like, why is my autopilot tracking not straight? I was like, I didn't have wind or whatever, but I think it's the current is actually pushing me slightly out of the Gulf, and then, you know, when it comes back, it was pushing me into the Gulf. So it's interesting to watch that. So I've been adjusting my course, and you know, because I'm off course now to get to my waypoint. So my waypoint's 12 miles off of Cape Sable, which is the Hawk Beach. I want to make 12 miles outside of it, and there's a big marker, a steel buoy that's out there. I just want to make sure I give it a wide berth, because I heard that sometimes they move a little bit, so they're not exactly where they are on the chart. So I'm going to pass it by a couple of miles south, because they're big, and I just don't want to run into the thing, and I've got fog right now. So I'm hoping that my AIS is working. I'm about to enter the fishing zone, so I'm not going to be able to see lobster pots or whatever. So hopefully there's not too many of them. Right, I've got to go through it to get there, so I don't know what else to do. So anyways, wish me luck. I'll give an update later on. Hopefully I have an uneventful night. I got 1, 2, 3 sailing boats, and they're all kind of converging on this area. It's pretty foggy. I'm using radar AIS to continually scan what's around me. It's necessary. There's a lot of fishermen here. I just sailed through a bunch of fishermen and had to hail them on the VHF just to make sure that I wasn't running over them or anything, or vice versa. I'm 12 miles south of Nova Scotia. Yeah, so I'm trusting my technology. I got my polarized glasses. These actually work better here in the fog than my regular glasses. These are prescription. So I'm about 12 miles south of Cape Sable and Hawk Beach, Nova Scotia. I'm passing it, giving it a wide berth because I don't want to be anywhere near shore. I'm not familiar enough with the landmarks and where the hazards are. So I was looking on the map, and there's like tidal vortexes and breakers, things like this, and I don't want to be anywhere near it. So I'm giving it a wide berth at about the 12-mile line away from shore, and then I'm going to bear in once I get to my next waypoint, which is about 30 miles. So I'm going to bear more north, cut across, and I've been analyzing it closely. I should have lots of room from all of the buoys, tidal markers, and then I'm going to start bearing northwest into Shelburne Harbour. So my total destination's about 50 miles still to go, based upon the route I'm taking. But it's about 40 as the crow flies. So I should make it today. End of the day, we'll see how well it goes. Well, I'm on approach to my second last waypoint. I picked 4 waypoints to come into Nova Scotia when I drew my lines. I'm sure there's a shorter way, but I had this to deal with. Fog, I can't see anything. I also am unfamiliar with the waters. I was looking at the chart, and there's a couple of navigation challenges. So there's an area kind of over by Cape Sable where if you go in close, you have to avoid, it gets to be 2 feet deep. So they put a buoy out there, but somebody actually hit the buoy and died. So I don't know if they just got messed up or whatever, but it's a serious area. Plus with the shallow water, there's got to be breakers. And then the other one is actually over here by Shelburne. There's another area where it gets shallow, and for whatever reason there's a lot of breakers there, breaking waves. So I'm just kind of avoiding them. I'm giving it about a mile, maybe a little bit more, 2 miles berth. So I'm going to its starboard side, but I guess that would be to the right of it on approach. So I'm going to kind of go around it and then cut in to the entrance of Shelburne. So it added probably an extra 10-15 miles to the journey instead of kind of like navigating through that. But I just felt that was safer. I also picked up the current, which was kind of nice. So the wind was at a really terrible angle. This is not bad. And then when I cut in, I'm actually going to have wind on the beam. So I think I'm going to roll in the jib and then just work with the mainsail. I'll leave like a sliver of the jib out just for balance, because it's around 10-15 knots of wind. Right now it's coming this way, so the boat, it doesn't feel as fast because the wind's not just crazy in your face kind of thing. It's kind of blowing us along. So I'm doing about 4.5-5 knots right now. Speed over ground, you can see, is pretty good. It's going to be 6 knots. Just looking at it. So the boat speed is moving through the water at probably maximum hull speed. But speed over ground, because there's some slowness and things like that, tidal shifts, that is going to be slower. Now, the part that I couldn't quite figure out, because I'm not an expert with tides and tidal sailing, there's no indicator on navionics as to when the tide is, or the tidal currents are going in and out of Shelburne. So I'm guessing it's probably a knot to 2 knots probably 2 knots of current. So at 6:30 it's low tide in Shelburne, so that means it's a flood tide after 6:30, right? So I just don't know when. I don't know if that's like 7:30, 8. I'm guessing when it's at low, there's still some movement of water kind of coming out, so it takes a bit for it to start rushing back in, I'm guessing. And then I'm guessing I have about 3-4 hours to get through there, because you've got slack tide for a couple of hours. So at low tide, you know, it slows down, and then it starts to speed up, and then it slows down at high tide. So high tide is at 12:50, and so I think I'm going to get there around 10, which means that I've missed slack tide, and I think it's starting to flow in. So 6, 7:38, so I might be at pretty close to peak flood tide going in. I'm not 100% certain because there's no markers, so just a guess on my part. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to just head in, and it'll slow down to slack tide at about 12:50 or 1 o'clock in the morning. And as long as I get to the destination by 1, which gives me 3 hours to navigate through Shelburne with some current in my favor, then that should work okay, I would think. It seems like I'm moving along, like I said, pretty fast right now. So out here, this is like already slowing down. And then the tide's going to go this way, so I'll have it in my face for a little bit too. So that might slow me down, I'm not sure. Because if I make it down to the other side, I got 2 hours, then to the next waypoint, I'll get around that kind of breaking waves area, and then it'll push me, and then I'm going to have a beam in with, you know, 10 knots of wind, so that's a lot of wind. I'm considering dropping the main down to a single reef just to help me out when it gets darker, because it's a fair amount of wind, but I want to keep enough in there that I'm moving. I don't think I need to do a 2 reef because it's 10 to 15 knots. It's not like 20 knots. It's just that it's dark. So, and I've never been here before, so I'm going to do my best not to run into anything. It's been foggy all day. I'm hoping that as I get to shore, I'll be able to see the shoreline. Otherwise, yeah, it'll be just electronics, radar. Yeah, that'll be an interesting go. And if I start freaking out, I'm just going to go around McNett Island and drop the anchor and go in the morning. But I wouldn't mind just getting there and getting this over with. So, but it's going to take 2-3 hours to get through the last 10 miles. So I've got 10 miles to waypoint 3, 5 miles to the entrance on a beam reach, and I'm sure I'm going to be flying through there because this boat loves to do that. And then I'm going to be going into the Shelburne. I don't know if it's a river, but the harbor. So I'm going into the harbor, and I'll have current, I think, going with me a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, day 3. I forget in total how many, but it's 250 miles I've done on this passage. So I left Sunday morning, Monday morning. Today is Tuesday, so it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So this is Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday. So this is technically 2 days, but it's all day again. So 2.5 day sail to do 250 miles. I was kind of around 100 miles a day. The first day was all sail, and then last night I was so tired of being banged around. There was no wind. The wind died, and the ocean just went calm. The whole Gulf was just calm. So I just motored, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to see how far. I've never motored this far before. My generator's been working okay. So I've used up, I'm going to guess 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've used 9 gallons of fuel for my generator. And I've gone, it was before halfway, so yeah, halfway of 225, so that would be 112 plus another 60, so 170 miles on 9 gallons of fuel, so that's not bad. I got my prop fouled twice in the slow stuff. Both of it was weeds. One was over here, and one was over in the fishing area on the approach I was about 20 miles out of Nova Scotia, and I just went through a whole pile of this floating sphagnum moss, and I tried reversing. So what I did is I stopped the prop, and then I tried reversing, and I was able to get it to more or less unstick, and the same thing happened here. So I let the wind kind of keep pushing me, and I was trying to reverse. I did it slow and then give it a little bit of pressure, and that seemed to get rid of all of the resistance. The reason why I knew something was on there was because of the when I have it at 1300 watts, my RPM is normally 525 RPM, like give or take, but it was at 450 RPM. So that's pretty significant, like almost 22% drop. So that's because it's stuck and it's like got resistance on the propeller. So I could measure that in my RPM based upon the same wattage. So it's a good indicator of that. Last update for the day, the radar has been invaluable. I was navigating through fishing vessels. At one point I had to call them on the VHF because I was like, I couldn't determine which way the guy was moving, but I think he was trawling a line, and my radar was picking up the line, so it was making the boat look really long, and it kept jumping in. So I called a security on the VHF, and I just announced my position and track, and I said to the fishing boats near me, I'm on this course, you know, is it safe to proceed? Am I going to run over your lines? And the captain got back to me and said, no, go ahead, he's turning south, so I shouldn't have to worry about it. I was far enough. I was like half a nautical mile at the time, but then I think he turned, because by the time I got there it was about a mile. So that's got to be a pretty long line to have a nautical mile long line. He was trawling it like a, I don't know what they're called, they're runners. So there's basically a steel cable with a bunch of lines that drop with hooks, and they put bait on all the hooks, and they have a big machine that they reel in. I think that's what that machine was, or that fishing boat. What made it more complicated was that there was another one coming on, like he was on my starboard, there was one on my port, and then one on my stern, and they looked like they were all converging on me. So I went right through the middle of them all within half a nautical mile. So anyways, the radar, none of them had AIS, so the radar was on, and I was able to see everything that was going on, so that was perfect. AIS has been great. I actually got the computer out and logged into it to check it, because I didn't see a boat for 200 miles, not maybe 180 miles. I didn't see a boat. Yeah, and then my depth was unreadable, like 600 plus feet deep here, or where I was in the Gulf. I think it was 150 fathoms, so that's 6 times 150, so 750 feet. So I couldn't tell. My only thing I had was GPS and things, so I logged into the AIS, and it showed that there was green check marks, sending, receiving, but even my chart plotter gave me a warning saying, I haven't seen anything in a long time. Is it working? You know, because I think it went into an alarm state because I just didn't pick up any AIS for like a really long time. 180 miles, that was like a day and a half where I didn't see a boat. Anyways, so I'm coming up to waypoint 3, and then I'm going to turn and then head into waypoint number 1, which is the entrance of the Shelburne Harbour Canal, and then I'll film some of it as I go. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to give a single reef in the main here. That looks pretty good. So the way my reefing works is I got the block here. So I run the line off the point and then I just cleat it. And then I've got those little the bull clasps, I can't remember what they're called, and they collect on to the bullhorn at the bottom, so it doesn't quite reach because of the size of the sail. So I just have a little rope that I just tie it around. You can see it hanging there, and then I just pull it up, back up, and that's it. Single reef main. And I'm going to get ready to, I'm about an hour from making a turn in. But I got to put the Q flag up. The quarantine flag is when you go into another country, you have to raise this. I'm now officially quarantined. So I'm currently doing 4 knots. I got an hour to go till my turn, and then another hour before I'm entering, so I'm going to give it a go tonight. See if I can make it to the Yacht Club dock. So all that fog, I've been in fog for 2 days now. I'm finally coming into shore, and apparently there's no fog at shore. I spoke with the rear commodore at the Shelburne Harbour Yacht Club, and he suggested me I'll be okay. Fog is going to disperse as soon as I get to McNutt's Island, and then I'm going to keep following the channel all the way in. And it's light enough that I should be able to see the marker, but I haven't been able to cry land ho yet, even though I've been next to land. I can't see the damn thing. Anyways, it's been a journey. Got a single reef in the main. I got a full jib. I'm running, I'm doing about 4.7 knots speed over ground. I'm doing 6.7, but I've got a bit of current or something pushing me or something out here. It's kind of weird, actually. I'm about to do another 30-degree turn to bend into Shelburne. Basically, I'm heading east and I've got a south wind, so I'll have a beam all the way into the entrance of the canal. So this boat likes beams. I might trim up the jib a little bit. I might give me just a half a jib, but we'll see. I'm trying to keep the speed up too, so I've got the motor on and it's going okay. Used actually now 10 gallons of fuel. Took it to cross half the Gulf of Maine, so I've done 170 miles, about that, on motor, non-stop. Well, I know there's land out there somewhere. I'm getting close. I'm about 7 miles from land, but as you can see, fog city for the last 2 days. I'm looking forward to seeing something other than white air. This is Sandy Point. There's a red flashing light over there. And that's Middle Rock. Right in the middle. Red flashing. So it's red right returning. So I have to keep that on my right. I haven't seen any greens yet, and I'm following the Navionics pathway. But finally here, Shelburne Harbour. I'm about 5 miles from the dock. I've got a half a jib, and I've got one reef in the main. Can't really see. Too dark. like arriving at night. Right now I've got wind on my beam still, so it seems to be working out okay. Pretty quiet out here. This is just a little crazy. Let's see if I can actually make it. Between the fog and the lack of lighting and not been here before, this is tough coming in at 1 in the morning. Made it back on land. Oh, there's a big boat. Guess he came in last night, and he's probably leaving because of low tide, I'm imagining. It's a rainy day this morning. I got the heater on because it's damp. So just to try to take the dampness out, I still have the fog kind of made everything damp. So I slept over in the V-berth last night. I guess you can't see that, it's kind of dark. But the V-berth, I found just even the top blanket, the comforter, just a bit damp. So the heater's making a big difference. And yeah, I'm gonna finish my tea. It's pretty close to the front of the boat, but I can't make out anything in the water like I was hoping. I guess I'll get used to it. I'm just doing a little do-it-yourself project here. It's Saturday, August 2nd, and I used to have this black floor down, and I had these pieces. So I got two. You can see the package back there. This is what I insulated the walls with. It's like a closed cell foam exercise mat material. So I'm just cutting it to fit the floor because I noticed here, and this has got worse yesterday, with the temperature change. I don't know if you can see the glistening on the floor, but that's actually condensation. So I'm getting condensation coming up through the floor because of the temperature differential between the floor, the water, and the boat air. So I had the heater on last night, but it felt like damp without the heater on. So what I'm doing is I'm just laying down where I mostly am, and then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 here, and then I've got an old piece here that I'll just chop up to get this last little bit in. Kind of my goal is to just have an insulated floor. I think I'm going to keep this down as the floor. I had this on the floor for many years, and it just takes the coldness out of the floor, and you can walk on the floor in your bare feet even when it's cool in the fall. So I think I'm just going to do the same for now, and not get too excited about this being wood or something. Like, it looked pretty being wood, but I'm not getting condensation here because of the there's the bilge underneath, right? So there's an air gap, but here there's not. That's actually hull. And then I've got hull going up the side, and that's where it's leaking. It's glistening there. So there's some water. So So I'm just doing just cutting up these little pieces, and then I'm going to throw out all the rest of the little trimmings. So I'm just going to do what I can, and that'll hopefully just take a little bit of the humidity out of the air, chill out of the air, because that's really the last thing. I'm going to keep anything kind of big, and then start doing underneath the settee, because I didn't do underneath there yet. But yeah, this is be a little small project, but big improvement. Well, the water temperature is 54, so that's going to be cold. I'm going to go check out my prop. I'm going to have to wear my wetsuits and my boots. I don't have a head thing for the mask, so yeah, I'm going to be down there. It'll be cold, 54. And there's the water temperature, 54.7, so I'm not going to stay in there too long. I'm going to make a quick work of it. Oh, that was cold. That was a lot worse than Cape Cod Bay, that's for sure. This is the stuff that I had wrapped around my prop. Just a crap load of that. So I picked it all off. I can see it floating away. And now I'm going to warm up because it was cold. I was only in there for what, 3 minutes or something? Actually, my body was fine. It was my arms were a bit cold. Mostly my head, because I didn't have I don't have a cowl. I think here you need a cowl. It's 54, it's too cold. So we got the root ball off, that part's good. Next thing I'm gonna do is take a hot shower, because I just want to warm up. I don't want to get a cold.